Hey guys, tonight we begin with something a little different. A journey into the impossible, the unthinkable, the space between spaces. We're diving into what it's really like to be trapped in a parallel dimension. Forget the sci-fi movies and comic book portals Hollywood sold you. The truth, you probably wouldn't recognise reality if you ever made it back. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from and what time it is for you. It's always fascinating to see who's joining us from around the world. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. Chapter 1. The Shift. Congratulations. You've just woken up in your bedroom. Except it's not your bedroom. Not quite. The good news? You're alive and conscious. The bad news? Everything is wrong in ways you can't immediately articulate. Your brain keeps insisting this is your room, but your instincts are screaming otherwise. You're lying in your bed, same mattress, same position you fell asleep in. But the sheets feel different. Not the texture, the weight. Like they're made of something that's almost cotton, but not quite. The morning light filtering through your window is the wrong colour. Not dramatically wrong, just off. Like someone adjusted the saturation on reality by 2%. You sit up slowly, and that's when the vertigo hits. Not the spinning kind, the existential kind. Your body moves normally, gravity works the same, but there's a subtle resistance to everything, like you're moving through air that's slightly thicker than it should be. Your bedroom looks identical. Same furniture arrangement, same posters on the wall, same pile of clothes on the chair you've been meaning to put away. But the posters are showing movies you don't recognise. The titles are familiar, close to ones you know, but wrong. The Empire Strikes First instead of The Empire Strikes Back. Pulp Friction instead of Pulp Fiction. You blink hard, rub your eyes, but the wrongness persists. Your phone is on the nightstand. You grab it reflexively, needing something familiar, something to ground you. The device looks right, feels right, but when you press the power button, the startup screen shows a logo you don't recognise. An apple with 2 bites taken out of it instead of 1. The phone boots up. Your apps are all there, but the icons are slightly different. Spotify is called Soundwave. Instagram is Pictogram. Twitter is Chirper. Close enough to make you think you're going crazy. Different enough to confirm you're not imagining this. You check your messages. There's a text from your roommate. Running late for work at the museum. Don't forget we're meeting Sarah and Tom for dinner tonight. You don't have a roommate. You live alone. You don't know anyone named Sarah or Tom. And what museum? You work. In tech support, don't you? You try to remember your job, your routine, the mundane details of your life. They're there, but they're fuzzy around the edges, like trying to remember a dream after you've been awake too long. You worked somewhere with computers. Definitely computers. Or was it accounting? Insurance? The harder you try to remember, the more the details slip away. Your heart rate picks up. This is wrong. This is all wrong. You need to get out of this room, see something familiar, talk to someone real. You throw off the sheets and stand up. That's when you notice your feet. You're wearing socks. You never sleep in socks. You hate sleeping in socks. But there they are, grey athletic socks with a logo you don't recognise. Comfortable on your feet like they've always been there. You walk to your bedroom door. Your hand hovers over the doorknob. Some primal part of your brain is screaming at you not to open it. That whatever is on the other side will confirm something you're not ready to accept. But you can't stay in this room forever. You open the door. Chapter 2. The Almost Home. The hallway beyond your bedroom is your hallway. Same length, same dimensions, same scuffed hardwood floor. But the walls are painted a pale blue instead of off-white. There are photos hanging in frames, your face in the photos, but in places you've never been, with people you've never met. At events you have no memory of attending. You step closer to one photo. It's you. Definitely you. Standing in front of the Eiffel Tower with your arm around someone. A woman smiling, comfortable against your side like she belongs there. You've never been to Paris. You've certainly never been to Paris with this person. But in the photo, you look happy. Genuinely happy. Like this is a normal memory from a normal trip. The date stamp on the photo reads 3 months ago. You stumble backward, your shoulder hitting the wall. The impact feels solid, real, painful. Not a dream then. Dreams don't have this much sensory detail. Dreams don't have photo evidence of lives you haven't lived. You move down the hallway toward what should be your living room. Each step feels like walking deeper into wrongness. The apartment layout is correct. You know where the rooms are, where the bathroom is, where the kitchen should be, but the decorations are all wrong. Books on the shelf you've never read. The guitar in the corner you don't know how to play. A cat tree with toys scattered around it. You don't own a cat. As if summoned by your thought, a large orange tabby rounds the corner and meows at you, loudly, insistently, like you're late for something important. I don't have a cat, you say aloud. Your voice sounds strange. Right pitch, right tone, but it echoes slightly, like you're in a larger space than you actually are. The cat meows again, more urgently, then walks toward what you know is the kitchen. It stops, looks back at you, and meows once more before. Disappearing around the corner, you follow. The kitchen is your kitchen. Same layout, same appliances, but the refrigerator is covered in magnets from places you've never visited. Greetings from Colorado. I heart Seattle. Virginia is for lovers. You've never left your home state. You're sure of it, aren't you? The cat is sitting by its food bowl, empty. It looks at you with a kind of patient expectation that says it's used to you feeding it every morning. You stand there, frozen, staring at this cat that apparently belongs to you in a kitchen, that apparently is yours in an apartment you apparently live in but definitely don't recognise. Your phone buzzes in your hand. A text from Mom. Don't forget about Sunday dinner. Your sister is bringing her new boyfriend. Try to be nice this time. You're an only child. You're an only child. You're absolutely certain you're an only child. You have no siblings. You've never had siblings. But your phone is telling you otherwise, and somewhere in the fuzzy, slippery memories you're trying to hold on to, there's a flash of something. A girl with your eyes, younger, laughing, calling your name. No, that's not real. That's not your memory. The cat meows louder, breaking your spiral. You look down at it. At least the cat is straightforward. The cat wants food. That's simple. That's something you can process. You open the cabinet where you instinctively know the cat food should be, and it's there. A bag of premium cat food, half empty, like you've been buying it for months. You pour some into the bowl. The cat immediately starts eating, purring loudly. You did that. You performed an action in this wrong world, and it worked. The physics of cause and effect still apply. Feed cat, cat eats. Simple. But nothing else is simple. You need to get outside. Need to see the world beyond this apartment. Need to confirm whether this wrongness extends beyond your living space, or if it's contained somehow. Maybe you're having a breakdown. Maybe you're in a hospital somewhere, hallucinating. And this is all trauma-induced delusion. You grab what you hope are your keys from the hook by the door. They look like your keys. Same keychain. A bottle opener shaped like a guitar, though you don't remember buying it. You pocket your phone, slip on shoes that are by the door, sneakers, right brand, but in a colour you'd never choose, and open the front door. The hallway outside your apartment is identical to the one you know. Same ugly carpet, same flickering fluorescent light, same slightly mildewy smell. You lock your door behind you, muscle memory working even when your brain doesn't, and head toward the stairs. You pass apartment 4B. Through the door, you hear voices. A family arguing in a language that sounds like English, but with words you can't quite pass. The rhythm is wrong. The cadence is foreign. Keep moving. Don't think about it. Just get outside. You take the stairs 2 at a time, your hand on the railing for support as much as speed. 3 floors down. The stairwell echoes your footsteps in a way that's almost but not quite right, like the acoustics are subtly different. You push through the building's front door and stop dead. The street outside is your street. Same brownstones, same parked cars, same coffee shop on the corner, but the sky is wrong. It's morning, should be morning, the sun is up, but the light is greenish. Not overtly green, not like a storm is coming, just tinted, like someone put a filter on the whole world. And the people, oh God, the people, they walk normally, they talk normally, they carry coffee cups and check their phones and hail taxis, but they're all wearing the same thing. Not identical outfits, but the same style. Everyone, regardless of gender or age, is wearing some variation of grey and blue. Muted colours, uniform aesthetic. Like the whole city got a dress code memo you never received. You look down at yourself. Grey shirt, blue jeans, you're dressed like them. A woman walks past you, talking on her phone. Yeah, I'll be there after the correction. No, the morning one, not the evening. I know, but what can you do? It's mandatory. The correction. What the hell is the correction? You start walking, trying to blend in, trying not to look as panicked as you feel. The coffee shop on the corner has a different name. The Daily Grind instead of Java Junction. Close, so close, but wrong. You need information. You need to understand what's happening. You need... Your phone buzzes again. Multiple notifications. Calendar reminders. 9 a.m, morning correction, mandatory attendance. 11 a.m, work, new accounts department. 7 p.m, dinner with Sarah, Tom and roommate at the Mirror. That calendar is synced to a life you don't live. Appointments for a person you're not. Or are you? How can you be sure? How can you know which version of reality is real when both feel equally solid? A siren wails in the distance, but it doesn't sound like any siren you've heard before. The pitch is off. The rhythm is wrong. It sounds like it's getting closer. People on the street stop, all of them, simultaneously. They turn toward the sound, faces neutral, waiting. The siren gets louder. You see it now. A vehicle that looks like a police car crossed with an ambulance, crossed with something else entirely. Lights flashing in colours that shouldn't exist. Ultraviolet strobe mixed with infrared pulse, mixed with something your brain can't process. It stops in the middle of the street. The siren cuts off. For a moment, there's perfect silence. Then a voice booms from speakers on the vehicle. Morning correction begins in 5 minutes. All citizens must report to designated zones. Failure to comply will result in temporal displacement. This is your only warning. Temporal displacement. The words hit you like ice water. The people around you start moving immediately, walking with purpose towards specific directions like, they've done this 1,000 times. No panic, no confusion, just resigned compliance. You stand frozen, watching them go, your heart hammering against your ribs. Hey! A hand grabs your arm. You spin around. It's a man about your age, dressed like everyone else, but his eyes are wide, frantic. Different. You can see it too, can't you? He whispers urgently. The wrongness. You're not from here. You can barely breathe. What? No time. Come with me. Now. Before the correction finds you. He pulls on your arm. Trust me. You don't want to be here when it starts. You definitely don't want them to scan you and find out you're a shifter. A what? Shifter. Someone who doesn't belong to this branch. Someone who slipped through. Come on. He takes off running, still gripping your arm, pulling you along. And because you have no better option, because everything is wrong, and this person at least acknowledges it, you run. Chapter 3. The Underground. The man pulls you through a maze of side streets and alleys you don't recognise. The city is your city but isn't. Buildings are in slightly different locations. Storefronts have names that are almost right. Street signs show familiar names spelled in unfamiliar ways. He doesn't slow down until you're 5 blocks away, ducking into an alley behind a restaurant that smells like cooking oil and something else. Something slightly off, like familiar food prepared with unfamiliar spices. Okay, he gasps, hands on his knees catching his breath. Okay, we should have a few minutes before they expand the search grid. You're bent over too, lungs burning, mind racing. What the hell is happening? What is this place? What's a shifter? He holds up a hand. One question at a time. I'm Marcus. He extends his hand formally, absurdly normal given the circumstances. You shake it, giving your name automatically. Right, okay, here's the short version. This isn't your world. It's close, really close, but it's not yours. You're in a parallel dimension. Branch 7 specifically, though the locals don't call it that. They don't know there are other branches, they just think this is reality, end of story. You stare at him. That's not possible. Parallel dimensions are theoretical in your branch, yeah. Not so much here. Here, dimensional research is strictly regulated by the Correction Authority, which is why we need to get you off the streets before they scan you. Why? What happens if they scan me? Marcus's expression darkens. Best case? They quarantine you, study you, try to figure out how you got here. Worst case, they forcibly align your quantum signature with this dimension, which basically erases who you were and makes you a native. You'll forget your original world entirely. You'll believe you've always lived here. The memory slippage you've been experiencing, the fuzzy details, the conflicting memories. That's already happening, you whisper. I can't remember. Things are getting confused. Yeah, that's the dimensional bleed. The longer you stay, the more this reality overwrites yours. We need to get you somewhere shielded, somewhere the alignment process is slowed, and then we need to figure out how you shifted in the first place so we can try to shift you back. How do you know all this? Marcus smiles grimly. Because I'm a shifter too. Been here 3 years. Still remember my branch. Still remember who I was. But it gets harder every day. 3 years. The horror of that settles over you. 3 years trapped in the wrong world, slowly forgetting who you were. Why haven't you gone back? Can't. Don't know how. The shift is usually random, stress, strong emotion, being in the right place at the right time when the dimensional membrane is thin. Going back deliberately? That's the puzzle I've been trying to solve for 3 years. Some people manage it, most don't. A sound echoes from the street. That wrong-sounding siren again, distant but distinct. We need to move. There's a safe house a few blocks from here. Other shifters. They can explain better than I can, and will be protected from the correction scans. Come on. You follow him deeper into the alley, through a door that looks like a service entrance, down a stairwell that descends far deeper than any basement should. The temperature drops. The air smells like concrete and copper and something else. Ozone, maybe, like after a lightning strike. Marcus stops at a heavy metal door with no visible lock or handle. He places his palm against it and closes his eyes. For a moment, nothing happens. Then the door shimmers like heat rising from asphalt and swings open. Beyond is a large underground room, lit by LED strips that cast everything in harsh white light. There are cots along one wall, a kitchenette in the corner, shelves lined with books and electronic equipment, and a large table in the centre covered with papers, maps, and devices you don't recognise. And people. Maybe a dozen of them, various ages, all looking at you with the same expression of recognition and sympathy. New shifter, Marcus announces. Just arrived. Needs orientation and shielding. A woman stands from the table, middle-aged, with sharp eyes and greying hair. How long since the shift? Maybe an hour? You're not actually sure. Time feels slippery. She nods. Okay, you're early in the process. That's good. We can slow the alignment. Give you time to figure out your path back. I'm Dr. Sarah Chen. I run this safe house. Sarah? The name from your phone. The text about dinner. Hi. My phone mentioned someone named Sarah. Dr. Chen's expression is sympathetic. The dimensional bleed works both ways. This dimension is trying to give you a life here, memories here, connections here. The more you interact with it, the stronger that pull becomes. It's survival, in a way. The dimension wants to stabilize you, because your presence here is causing micro-tears in the fabric. By giving you a life, it stops you from being a foreign object. How do I fight it? You don't. Not exactly. You can slow it by staying here, in shielded spaces. We've lined the walls with a copper quartz matrix that disrupts the quantum alignment field. It's not perfect, but it helps. You'll still feel the pull, still have moments of confusion, but it won't accelerate. She gestures to an empty cot. Sit. We'll do an assessment, figure out your dimensional signature, and see if we can identify which branch you're from. The good news is, if you're close enough to manifest here, close enough to have an analogue life trying to form, you're probably from one of the near branches. That means there might be a pathway back. You sit, your mind reeling. How many branches are there? No one knows. Theoretically infinite. Practically, in our immediate cluster. We've identified about 30 that are close enough to occasionally exchange matter and consciousness. Most people who shift bounce between neighbours, branches that differ by single decision points or minor historical divergences. A young man, barely out of his teens, approaches with a device that looks like a tablet crossed with a metal detector. I'm going to scan you. It won't hurt, but it might feel weird. He moves the device around your head and torso. You feel a tingling sensation, like static electricity and taste copper in your mouth. Interesting, he murmurs, reading the screen. Your signature is really close. Like really close. This isn't a major branch divergence. This is... He looks up at Dr. Chen. This looks like a personal nexus shift. Meaning? Dr. Chen leans forward. Meaning the difference between your world and this one might be centered on you. On choices you made or didn't make. On pivotal moments in your personal history that went differently. The weight of that settles on you. So this world is... what? The version where I made different choices? Possibly. Or where different choices were made about you. It's hard to say without more data. But it means the connection between the branches is strong. The membrane between your world and this one is thin. at least where you're concerned. That's good news for getting back. It's also why you shifted so suddenly. Something must have triggered it. You try to remember. Last night, you went to bed in your apartment, your real apartment, in your real life. What were you thinking about? What was happening? Nothing significant. A normal day. Work, dinner, scrolling your phone, sleep. Nothing dramatic or emotional or... Wait. There was something. A moment before sleep when your mind wandered. You were thinking about choices, about the path your life had taken, about the job you'd settled for instead of the one you dreamed about the relationship that ended badly last year, about the opportunities you'd let pass by. You'd had a thought, clear and sharp in the darkness. I wonder what would have happened if I'd said yes instead of no. I think I know what triggered it, you say slowly. I was thinking about alternate choices, about different paths, right before I fell asleep. Dr. Chen nods. Consciousness affects quantum states. Strong intention, especially at the boundary of sleep when your mind is most malleable, can create resonance with nearby branches. If you were already close to a personal nexus point, that resonance might have been enough to pull you through. So how do I get back? Same way, theoretically, you need to recreate the conditions, the mental state, the intention, the resonance. But it's not just about wanting it. You need to remember who you are. Really remember. The more aligned you become with this dimension, the harder that gets. It's like trying to remember you're dreaming while you're in a dream. The dream keeps insisting it's real. A phone rings somewhere in the room, not yours, someone else's. They answer it, have a brief conversation, then call out, "Correction sweep expanding. They're doing full spectrum scans in a 6-block radius," Marcus curses. They must have detected the dimensional instability from the shift. They're looking for you specifically. We're shielded, Dr. Chen says calmly. They can't scan through the copper quartz matrix, but no one can leave until the sweep passes. Could be hours. You look around at the other people in the room. They're all shifters, all trapped between worlds, all trying to remember who they were before the dimensional bleed erased them. Some look determined. Others look lost. One woman in the corner is crying softly, and you understand why. This is your future if you don't get back. Years of slowly forgetting your real life while a false one overwrites it. Years of hiding from authorities who want to force you to belong. Years of hoping for a way home that might never come. "Teach me," you say to Dr. Chen. "Teach me everything. How to remember, how to resist the bleed, how to find my way back." She smiles sadly. "That's what we're all trying to do. Welcome to the underground. Welcome to the community of the lost." Chapter 4. The Rules of Survival. The hours pass strangely in the safe house. Time feels elastic, unreliable. Your phone claims it's been 3 hours since you entered. Your body insists it's been 15 minutes. Dr. Chen says both are true in a way. Time runs differently in shielded spaces, she explains. The copper quartz matrix doesn't just block dimensional scans, it creates a kind of quantum pocket where the flow of time is decoupled from the external dimension. It's part of why staying here helps. You're not experiencing this world's temporal progression, so the alignment happens slower. You're sitting at the central table now, surrounded by maps and documents. But these aren't maps of geography, they're maps of reality itself. Dr. Chen spreads out a large sheet covered in interconnected circles and lines. This is a branch map. Each circle represents a parallel dimension we've identified. The lines show confirmed pathways, places where people have successfully shifted between branches. The thicker the line, the more common the shift. You study the map. Your eyes are drawn to a cluster of about 7 circles all connected by thick lines. These? The near branches, dimensions that are almost identical to each other, differing only in small personal decisions or minor historical events. Your branch is probably one of these, and so is this one, branch 7. The question is which circle represents your home. How do we figure that out? Details, memories, things that are consistent about your world. We'll build a profile and compare it against what we know about the mapped branches. She pulls out a notebook. Let's start simple. In your world, who was the president in 2020? You answer automatically, then pause. Wait, why does that matter? Because major historical events are often divergence points. If your 2020 president matches this world's, that narrows the field. If not, it expands it. She makes a note. Okay, next. Do you remember a major pandemic? Yes. COVID-19 started in 2019, dominated 2020 and 2021. Same here. Good. That's consistent. How about technology? Do you have neural implants, direct brain internet interfaces? No. That's not real yet. Still in development. Dr. Chen exchanges a glance with Marcus. Not real in your branch. It's standard here. Everyone over the age of 12 has a basic neural interface. That's actually how the correction authority scans people. They ping the interface and check the quantum signature embedded in it. Your hand instinctively goes to your temple. I don't have one. Which is why they're so interested in finding you. Someone without an interface is either a shifter or a criminal who had theirs removed. Either way, you're flagged as high priority. The young man with the scanning device speaks up from across the room. We can make you a dummy interface. Won't do anything, but it'll read to their scanners as legitimate. Might buy you time if you need to move through the city. Is that safe? Safe-ish, Marcus says. It's not perfect. If they do a deep scan, they'll figure out it's fake. But for street-level sweeps, it'll work. You nod slowly, trying to absorb all this. Okay, so I need to avoid deep scans, stay in shielded areas when possible, and resist the dimensional bleed. What else? Dr. Chen taps the notebook. Don't trust your memories. They're going to shift. You'll have thoughts that feel true but aren't. Places you've never been will seem familiar. People you've never met will feel like old friends. When that happens, write it down. Document everything. The more you externalize your real memories, the harder they are for the dimension to overwrite. She hands you a small leather journal and a pen. This is yours now. Start with what you know for certain about your world. Your address, your job, your friends and family, your daily routine, everything. Then every few hours review it, reinforce it, make it real by remembering it actively. You take the journal, feeling its weight in your hands. It's solid, real, an anchor. Also, Dr. Chen continues, avoid forming strong connections here. Every relationship you build, every emotional attachment you make, is another thread tying you to this dimension. The dimension wants you to belong. It'll push people into your life, manufacture feelings, create bonds. Fight it. Stay distant. Stay a stranger. What about you? All of you. You gesture around the room. Aren't you connections? We're shifters, Marcus says. We exist outside the dimensional pull, at least partially. Connections between shifters don't strengthen alignment because we're all already misaligned. We're safe to know. Everyone else? Dangerous. A woman from one of the cots speaks up. She's older, maybe 60, with kind eyes and a tired smile. I didn't understand that when I first shifted. I let myself make friends, found a job I enjoyed, started dating someone. It took me 2 years to realise I couldn't remember my husband's name. My real husband, from my real life. I'd replaced him completely with someone from here. Her voice cracks. I can't get those memories back. They're gone. The room falls silent. The warning hangs heavy. You open the journal to the first page and start writing. Your full name, your real address, your job, tech support at a mid-sized company called Data Synth Solutions. Your best friend's name, Alex. Your mother's birthday. Your favourite restaurant. The coffee shop you go to every morning. The route you walk. The songs you listen to. The shows you watch. Every detail, no matter how small. Building a fortress of memory against the siege of dimensional bleed. As you write, Marcus sits down next to you. I know it's overwhelming. I remember my first day. Thought I was going insane. Thought maybe I'd had a stroke or something, and this was all brain damage hallucination. How did you know it wasn't? The physics are too consistent. Hallucinations break down under scrutiny. They have gaps, impossibilities. This place? It holds up. It's real, just not our real. How do you stay sane? 3 years of this. Marcus looks at his own journal, worn and filled with cramped handwriting. I remind myself every day who I am, where I'm from. I have a daughter in my world, Emma. She's 7 now, or she was when I left. I don't know how much time has passed there. Time runs differently between dimensions, but I know she's real. I know she's waiting for me, and that keeps me from giving in, from letting this world win. You study his face, seeing the determination there, but also the exhaustion. 3 years is a long time to fight. Have you gotten close to finding a way back? Maybe. There's a theory. The same way strong intention and emotional resonance can trigger a shift out of your home dimension. it should be able to. Trigger a shift back. But it's not just about wanting it. You need to recreate the exact mental and emotional state you were in when you shifted. Plus you need the dimensional membrane to be thin at that moment. How do you know when it's thin? You feel it. Like pressure changes before a storm. The air feels different. Reality feels loose, negotiable. Some shifters develop a sense for it. I'm still learning. A loud thud sounds above you. Something heavy hitting the street level. Everyone in the room freezes. Dr. Chen moves quickly to a monitor showing a grainy video feed of the alley outside. Correction vehicle. They're stopping right above us. You hear it now. The wrong sound of that siren muffled by concrete and copper quartz but still distinct. Voices, mechanical whirring, footsteps. They can't detect us, Dr. Chen says quietly, but there's tension in her voice. The shielding holds. They can't scan through it, unless they decide to search manually. The thought hangs unspoken. The room holds its breath. Minutes pass like hours. The sounds continue above, methodical, thorough. They're checking every building, every entrance, every possible hiding spot. Your phone vibrates in your pocket. You pull it out carefully, screen brightness lowered. A text from roommate. Where are you? You missed the morning correction. They're saying there's a dimensional anomaly in the area. Are you safe? The dimensional bleed, trying to give you a life. Trying to make you care about someone who doesn't exist. You don't respond. More texts come through. From Mum, from Sarah, from work. All asking where you are. All sounding concerned. All trying to pull you deeper into this world's narrative. You turn the phone face down. The sounds above finally recede. The siren wails once more, then fades into the distance. Dr. Chen exhales. Okay, we're clear, for now. How often do they sweep, you ask? Twice a day, morning and evening corrections, plus random sweeps when they detect anomalies, which, unfortunately, they're going to keep detecting as long as you're here. Your presence is a disruption. The dimension is trying to heal around you, but until it does, you're like a wound in reality. They can sense that. So I'm putting everyone here at risk. We're all putting each other at risk, Marcus says. That's the deal. We protect each other because no one else will. You look around the room again, at the shifters who have become a strange family bound by shared displacement. Some have been here days, others, like Marcus, years. All of them losing pieces of themselves while fighting to remember who they were. This can't be your future. You won't let it be. You return to your journal and keep writing. Not just facts now, but feelings, memories, the smell of your real apartment, the sound of your best friend's laugh, the taste of the coffee from your actual favourite shop, the weight of your actual phone in your hand, the colour of your actual sky. You're building more than a record. You're building a lighthouse, a way home through the dark. Chapter 5. The Memory Wars. 3 days pass, or what feels like 3 days. Time in the safe house is unreliable, and your phone keeps showing different hours depending on which reality it's trying to sync with. You filled 20 pages of the journal. Every memory you can hold on to, you've written down. Dr. Chen was right. The act of externalizing them helps. But she was also right about the other thing. The memories are already shifting. This morning, if it's morning, the safe house has no windows, you woke up remembering a birthday party. Clear as day, you were 12, there was a backyard barbecue, your sister was there. You don't have a sister. You wrote it down immediately. False memory, birthday party, age 12, sister present. This is not real. But even as you wrote it, part of your mind insisted it was real. That you were the one confused, that obviously you have a sister, her name is Jennifer. She's 3 years younger, she lives in Seattle now with her husband, and no, stop. You've started carrying the journal everywhere, even to the bathroom, because if you're away from it too long, the dimensional bleed accelerates. The journal has become your tether. Marcus notices you clutching it as you sit at the breakfast table. Is it breakfast? Who knows? And gives you a knowing look. Memory war? How did you know? You have that look, like you're fighting with your own brain. He sits down across from you with something that looks like coffee, but smells slightly wrong. I had 3 false memory attacks yesterday. One was a whole childhood vacation to a place called New Orlando. It took me an hour to convince myself it wasn't real. New Orlando? Yeah. Apparently in this branch, there's both an Orlando and a New Orlando. Makes perfect sense here. Made my brain hurt trying to reject it. He sips his not quite coffee. The worst part is, the false memories are better than my real ones. Happier. Fuller. Like the dimension is trying to seduce me with a nicer life. You know exactly what he means. The birthday party memory came with feelings. Warmth, belonging, joy. Your real 12th birthday was quiet, lonely. Your parents were going through a divorce. You spent it watching TV and eating takeout Chinese food. The false memory is more appealing. That's the insidious part. Dr. Chen says it's getting worse, you say quietly. The dimensional bleed. She said by day 3 or 4, most shifters start having trouble distinguishing real from false. Day 3 or 4 for most people, you're doing better than average. Probably because you're documenting so aggressively. That helps. Marcus pulls out his own journal, edges worn soft from years of handling. Want to know a trick? Please, write down your worst memories, the ones you'd rather forget. Trauma, embarrassment, pain, loss. Those are harder for the dimension to overwrite because you're not supposed to want them. The dimension wants to make you happy here, wants to seduce you into staying, so it replaces bad memories with good ones. But if you actively remember the bad stuff, reinforce it, claim it as part of who you are, it becomes an anchor. You consider this. Your worst memories, the divorce, the friend who died in high school, the job you got fired from, the relationship that ended with betrayal, the time you said something cruel to your mother and never apologized before she... Wait, your mother is alive. You talked to her last week. She's fine. She lives in... But the false memory insists she's been dead for 2 years, that you spoke at her funeral, that you still regret not apologizing for that fight when you were 16. I don't know which memories are mine anymore, you whisper. Marcus reaches across the table and taps your journal. That's why you write everything down. When you can't trust your brain, trust the page. A door opens across the room. Dr. Chen emerges from what she calls her research corner, a section of the safe house filled with computers, strange equipment, and stacks of papers covered in equations you don't understand. Good, you're both awake, she says. I have news, potentially good news. You and Marcus exchange glances and follow her to the research corner. She pulls up a display on one of the monitors, a 3D model of interconnected spheres, the branch map brought to life. I've been analysing your quantum signature, she says to you, comparing it against our database of known branches. I think I've identified your home dimension. She points to one of the spheres highlighted in green. Branch 4, close neighbour to this one. The divergence point appears to be about 8 years ago, your personal timeline. What diverged? Hard to say without more data, but based on your memory profile and the way you're aligning here, my best guess is a major personal decision. A choice you made in your world that you didn't make in this one, or vice versa. You rack your brain. 8 years ago. What happened 8 years ago? You would have been, what? Fresh out of college? Starting your first real job? You'd been dating someone, Taylor. It ended badly. You moved to a new city, started over. Or did you? In this branch, Dr. Chen continues, you apparently stayed in your hometown, took a job at a museum, built a life there, made different friends, different relationships. That's why your apartment here is the same physical space but decorated differently. That's why people here know you but you don't know them. So in my world, I left. In this world, I stayed. Exactly. And because that choice rippled out through 8 years of consequences, the two versions of you are substantially different people. Different jobs, different relationships, different daily lives. But the core, your consciousness, your sense of self, that's still the same. That's what shifted. Marcus leans forward. If we know which branch, can we target the return shift? Theoretically, we'd need to recreate the conditions that caused the initial shift, but now we can be more intentional about it. Instead of just wanting to go home, we can specifically resonate with branch 4, she turns to you. The problem is, you need to remember who you are in branch 4. Really remember. The you who left your hometown. The you who made different choices. The more you align with branch 7's version of you, the harder it'll be to reconnect with your original self. How do I do that? Dr. Chen pulls out a chair. We're going to do what I call memory archaeology. We're going to dig through your thoughts, separate the real from the false, and reconstruct your actual history. It's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to have to confront the fact that a lot of what feels true right now isn't, but it's the only way. You sit. You open your journal to a blank page. Okay, let's start. For the next several hours, or what feels like hours, Dr. Chen walks you through a systematic interrogation of your memories. She asks detailed questions, demands specifics, pushes you to describe not just what happened but how it felt, what it smelled like, what the lighting was like, who said what. Real memories have texture. False ones are smooth, generic, almost stock photo quality. Your first apartment in the new city, she says. Describe it. You close your eyes. Small, 1 bedroom, 3rd floor walk-up. The kitchen was tiny, barely room for 1 person. The bathroom had pink tile, really ugly, from the 70s. There was a crack in the ceiling above the bed that looked like a lightning bolt. The neighbours upstairs fought constantly. I could hear every word through the ceiling. How did it smell? Old wood, dust. Sometimes curry from the Indian restaurant downstairs. Good, that's real. Those are genuine sensory details, not confabulated. Now tell me about your job, the tech support job. Data synth solutions. Open office plan, which I hated. My desk was by the window, but it overlooked a parking lot. The coffee was terrible. My supervisor was named Margaret, and she pronounced my name wrong for 6 months before I corrected her. I spent 8 hours a day resetting passwords and explaining to people that turning it off and on again actually works. Dr. Chen smiles. Also real. You're doing well. Now let's test a false one. Tell me about the museum job. You open your mouth, pause, try to remember. I worked in the acquisitions department? No, new accounts. I catalogued. Items? Describe your supervisor. His name was David? Daniel? He was tall, wore glasses. What did he look like? You can't picture him. The image won't form. It's like trying to remember someone from a dream. You know there was a person there, but the details won't coalesce. I can't, you admit, because it's false. Your brain is generating the memory from expectations and context clues, but there's no actual data there. That's how you tell them apart. Real memories have specific, often mundane details. False ones are vague outlines. You write in your journal, museum job, false. David, Daniel, supervisor, false. Tech support, data synth, Margaret, real. Marcus, who has been watching from nearby, speaks up. What about the sister, the one from your false birthday memory? Dr. Chen nods. Good question. Tell me about your sister. Her name is Jennifer. She's 3 years younger. She lives in Seattle. She's married to someone named... You stop. You can't remember his name. She works in... marketing? What's her favourite food? Blank. What's her biggest fear? Nothing. What was the worst fight you ever had? Your mind searches, finds nothing, starts to invent something, then collapses. There's no there. I don't have a sister, you say, and the certainty settles over you like a weight lifting. I'm an only child. I've always been an only child. Yes, Dr. Chen says gently. You are. Branch 7's version of you has a sister, but you don't, and the more you claim your real history, the weaker the false memories become. You spend another hour doing this, excavating memories, testing them for authenticity, sorting the real from the dimensional interference. It's exhausting. Every time you think you have a handle on it, another false memory surfaces, insisting it belongs to you. But slowly, painfully, your real history comes into focus. The person you actually are. The life you actually lived. The choices you actually made. You're an only child. You left your hometown 8 years ago after a bad breakup. You took a job in tech support because you needed to pay rent, not because you loved it. You live alone. You don't own a cat. You've never been to Paris. You don't play guitar. You've never been to Colorado or Seattle or Virginia. Your life is smaller than the one this dimension is offering. Lonelier, less adventurous, but it's yours. Good work, Dr. Chen says finally. Your identity is stabilizing. The dimensional bleed is still happening, but you're anchored now. That gives you a fighting chance. What's next? Next, we wait for the right moment. We need the dimensional membrane between branch 4 and branch 7 to thin enough for a shift to be possible. That happens periodically, usually during moments of high cosmic activity. Solar flares, electromagnetic storms, quantum fluctuations. We monitor for it. How long? She hesitates. Could be days, could be weeks, could be months. There's no way to predict it with precision. Your heart sinks. Months of living in this wrong world, fighting off false memories, hiding from the correction authority, slowly losing pieces of yourself no matter how hard you fight. But, Dr. Chen adds, you can stack the odds. The more emotionally and psychologically aligned you are with your home dimension, the more you're resonating with it, the weaker the membrane becomes. It's like you're pulling yourself back, creating your own gravitational field. Strong enough intention can thin the membrane artificially. How do I do that? Live your real life in your mind. Every day, multiple times a day. Rehearse it. Not just remember it. Experience it mentally. Wake up in your real apartment, go through your real morning routine, eat breakfast at your real table, walk your real route to work. The more vividly you can simulate it, the stronger the resonance. Marcus nods. It's like homesickness, but weaponized. You make yourself so fundamentally incompatible with this dimension that it has to let you go. You look down at your journal, pages filled with your real history, your true self preserved in ink. I can do that, you say. I can remember who I am. Good, Dr. Chen says, because starting tomorrow we're going to intensify the process. We're going to make you so determinedly yourself that this dimension has no choice but to reject you. Chapter 6. The resonance training the next morning, and you're more certain it's morning because Dr. Chen has started syncing the safe house to your home dimension's time zone, you begin what she calls resonance training. Think of it as meditation, she explains, but instead of clearing your mind, you're filling it with a very specific reality. Your reality. She set up a quiet corner of the safe house with cushions, dim lighting, and a white noise machine that supposedly helps block out the ambient quantum signature of Branch 7. It won't stop the dimensional bleed entirely, but it creates a pocket of reduced interference. You sit cross-legged on the cushions, journal in your lap, and close your eyes. Start with your morning routine, Dr. Chen instructs. The moment you wake up, what do you see? You take a breath and let yourself sink into the memory. My ceiling. White, with a water stain in the corner that looks like a map of Italy. The light comes in from the left side through the window. My alarm is going off. My phone, on the nightstand, playing that default chime I've been meaning to change for a year. Good. What do you do next? I hit snooze, always hit snooze once. Then I lie there for exactly 9 minutes, scrolling social media, procrastinating. Then the alarm goes off again and I actually get up. What's the first thing you do when you get out of bed? I go to the bathroom. The door sticks slightly, I have to push it with my shoulder. The light switch is on the right. The mirror is spotted because the bathroom doesn't ventilate well. I look tired. I always look tired. Stay in the moment. Don't narrate from outside. Be there. You're standing at the sink looking in that spotted mirror. What do you feel? You let yourself feel it. The cold tile under your bare feet. The slightly sour taste in your mouth. The heaviness of interrupted sleep. The mundane dread of another workday. I feel tired, a little lonely, behind schedule. I need to shower, but want coffee first. I always want coffee first. So you go to the kitchen. I go to the kitchen. It's small, narrow. I have to turn sideways to get past the table if the chairs aren't pushed in. The coffee maker is on the counter by the sink. It's old. I got it at a thrift store. It makes weird gurgling noises. I fill it with water, add grounds from the bag in the cupboard, the blue bag, French roast, and turn it on. What are you wearing? Old t-shirt, gym shorts, no socks. I hate wearing socks unless I have to. Dr. Chen's voice is soft, guiding. You're standing in your kitchen waiting for coffee. What are you thinking about? Work. I'm thinking about work. About how I have to go in and do the same thing I did yesterday and the day before. Password resets. Have you tried restarting? It's boring, but it pays rent. I'm thinking about how I should look for something better, but I probably won't. And I'm thinking about what I'm going to eat for breakfast, even though I'm going to skip breakfast and just drink coffee like always. Why do you skip breakfast? No time. Always running late. I'll grab something at the convenience store by the office. Usually a protein bar that tastes like cardboard. You're there. Fully there. Standing in your cramped kitchen in your real apartment in your real life. The coffee maker gurgles and hisses. Light streams through the window, illuminating dust motes in the air. Outside you can hear traffic, the city waking up. This is real. This is home. Stay there as long as you can, Dr. Chen whispers. Hold that reality. Let it fill you completely. You do. You stand in that kitchen for what feels like hours, just existing there. Being yourself in your actual life. No false memories. No dimensional interference. Just you, in your space, being mundane and boring and real. When you finally open your eyes, you're shaking slightly. The safe house feels even more alien than before. The contrast is jarring. "How do you feel?" Dr. Chen asks. "Wrong. Being here feels wrong, like I'm in someone else's body." "Good. That's exactly what we want. You're establishing dissonance. The more wrong this place feels, the more right your home dimension becomes, the stronger the resonance. Do this exercise 3 times a day. Morning routine, work routine, evening routine. Live your life in meditation until your consciousness is so thoroughly aligned with branch 4 that branch 7 can't hold you. Over the next few days, you do exactly that. 3 times a day, you retreat to the meditation corner and live your real life in your mind. You sit at your desk at Data Synth, answering the same stupid questions, drinking terrible coffee, avoiding eye contact with Margaret. You eat lunch at your desk, usually leftovers from whatever you cooked too much of the night before, or a sandwich from the deli down the street. You instant message with Alex, your best friend, making plans you'll probably cancel. You come home, you unlock the door, to your small apartment. You put your keys on the hook by the door, you kick off your shoes, you collapse on your couch, brown, slightly threadbare, purchased from the previous tenant, and scroll your phone for an hour before finally motivating yourself to make dinner. You eat alone, watching videos on your laptop balanced on your knees. You do dishes. You procrastinate going to bed because sleep means tomorrow comes faster. You brush your teeth with the same worn toothbrush you keep meaning to replace. You set your alarm. You lie down in your bed, in your real bed, and you think about your life. It's not glamorous. It's not exciting. It's not the life the dimensional bleed wants to give you, but it's yours. Each meditation session, the feeling of wrongness in branch 7 intensifies. Your false apartment feels like a stage set. The people texting you feel like NPCs in a game. The air itself feels fake, like your breathing simulation. "You're doing really well," Marcus tells you after your 6th day of training. "Better than anyone I've seen. Most people can't maintain this level of focus. They get distracted, or the false memories fight back too hard, or they just get tired of resisting." "Don't you do this?" His face clouds. "I did. For the first year I did it religiously, but it's been 3 years now. My daughter, Emma, she's fading. I can't remember her voice anymore. I remember that I can't remember, but I can't get the memory back. The meditation helps me remember facts about my life, but the feelings are going, and without the feelings, the resonance weakens. The horror of that settles over you. 3 years of fighting and he's losing anyway. Slowly, inexorably, branch 7 is digesting him. "Don't let that happen to you," he says quietly. "If you get a chance to shift back, take it. Don't wait. Don't think about us. Just go." "What about you? All of you?" "We've been here too long. The membrane between us and our home dimensions has thickened. Our quantum signatures have partially aligned. We're not firmly here, but we're not firmly anywhere else either. We're stuck in between." "That's not fair." "No," Marcus agrees. "It's not. But it's reality. Multiple realities, technically, which makes it worse." He tries to smile, but it doesn't reach his eyes. "Just promise me something. When you get home, if you get home, remember us. Remember that we were real, that we existed. Even if we end up fully aligned here, fully convinced this is our only world, somewhere in some version of events we were people who got lost, and you knew us. You promise. That night, if it's night, you're lying on your cot trying to sleep but failing." The safe house is quiet except for the hum of equipment and the occasional whisper of shifters having nightmares. Your phone, which you've been ignoring for days, vibrates. You almost don't check it, but something makes you look. It's a text from Mom. "Sweetheart, I'm worried about you. You haven't called in a week. Please let me know you're okay. I love you. Your mother. Your real mother, not the false one the dimension is trying to give you. You haven't thought about her in days. You've been so focused on fighting the bleed, on maintaining your identity, that you've lost track of what you're fighting for. Not just to escape, to get back to people who matter, people who are real." You open your journal and write Mum's phone number, and you realise you don't know it. You can picture her face, you can remember her voice, but her phone number? Gone. Overwritten or just forgotten in the chaos. No, you know this. You've called her 1,000 times. It's muscle memory. You close your eyes and let your fingers move in the air, typing the digits on an invisible keypad. Slowly it comes back. You write it down quickly, before it can slip away again. Then you write everything else you can remember about her. her laugh, her terrible sense of direction, the way she pronounces certain words slightly wrong, her favourite TV show, her maiden name, her birthday, her fears, her dreams. You fill 4 pages with your mother, making her real again, making her solid in your mind. Because Marcus is right. It's not enough to remember facts. You need the feelings, the love, the connection. That's what creates resonance. That's what thins the membrane. You don't just want to go home to your apartment and your boring job and your mundane routine. You want to go home to your mother, to Alex, to the life you built, imperfect as it is. That's worth fighting for. Chapter 7. The Thinning. On the 8th day, something changes. You're in the middle of your morning meditation, mentally standing in your real kitchen making your terrible coffee when you feel it. A shift. Not in your mind, in reality itself. The air pressure drops, your ears pop. For a moment, everything around you becomes transparent. You can see through the walls of the safe house, through the building above, through the street, through the city, through the dimension itself. You see the structure of Branch 7 laid bare. It's not solid, it's layers. Infinite layers of probability and decision and consequence, all stacked and interpenetrating, creating the illusion of a single coherent reality. And between this branch and the next, there's a membrane, thin, shimmering, full of tiny tears and weak points. Through one of those tears, you catch a glimpse of home, your real apartment, your real window, your real sky. Then the moment passes, reality solidifies. You're back in the safe house, gasping. Dr. Chen is at your side immediately. You felt it. It's not a question. What was that? Dimensional thinning. The membrane between branches becomes temporarily permeable. It's what we've been waiting for. She's checking equipment, reading displays. This is good. This is very good. The next thinning will be stronger. That's when you'll be able to shift. When? The pattern suggests 12 to 18 hours. We need to prepare you. The safe house mobilizes. Everyone has a role, a task. Marcus helps you review your journal one more time, reinforcing your real memories. Another shifter, a woman named Alicia who's been here 6 months, walks you through what she calls the mental anchor technique. When the shift happens, it's going to feel like dying, she warns, like your consciousness is being ripped apart. Every instinct you have will tell you to resist, to hold on to wherever you are. You can't. You have to let go completely. Trust that your resonance with your home dimension will pull you to the right place. What if it doesn't? Then you end up somewhere else, another branch, maybe better, maybe worse. But if you've done the resonance training right, if you're truly aligned with branch 4, you should snap back like a rubber band. Should. That word does not inspire confidence. Dr. Chen pulls you aside as the preparations continue. I need to tell you something. When you shift, there's going to be a gap. Time you've lost. However long you've been here, that time has passed in your home dimension too. But you won't have lived it. You'll have a blank space in your memory. People will ask where you've been, what you've been doing. What do I tell them? Whatever you want. Fugue state. Mental health episode. Took a trip and didn't tell anyone. Most people who shift back construct some kind of cover story. The truth tends to make you sound insane, and nobody believes in parallel dimensions in Branch 4. They don't. It's a divergence point. Branch 4 never developed dimensional research. Branch 7 did. So here, it's accepted science. There, it's science fiction. You process this. You're going to return to your life with a gap of over a week that you can't explain. People will have been looking for you. Worried. Maybe filed a missing person report. I'll deal with it, you say. Anything is better than staying here. The hours crawl by. You can't eat. Your stomach is in knots. You try to meditate but can't focus. Every few minutes you check the equipment Dr. Chen has set up, watching for signs of the next thinning. Marcus sits with you. You nervous? Terrified? Yeah, that's normal. He pauses. Can I ask you something? If you make it back, if you're home and safe and this all becomes a weird memory, will you try to come back? For us? You look at him. At this man who's been trapped here for 3 years, who remembers his daughter but can't remember her voice, who's slowly being erased by a world that isn't his. I don't know how I would. I know. I needed to ask. The equipment starts beeping. Dr. Chen rushes over. It's starting. The membrane is thinning faster than expected. We have maybe 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Your heart hammers. What do I do? Get to the meditation corner. Begin your deepest resonance. Don't just remember your life. Be there. Completely. Every sense. Every emotion. Every detail. Make yourself so real in branch 4 that branch 7 can't hold you anymore. You run to the corner, drop onto the cushions, close your eyes, and you go home. Not in meditation. In truth. In the deepest, most fundamental way possible, you return to who you are. You're standing in your kitchen, morning light through the window, coffee maker gurgling, you're tired, you're lonely, you're running late, you have a boring job and a small apartment, and a life that's mostly routine and not particularly special. But it's yours, it's real, it's home. You can smell the coffee, feel the cold tile under your feet, hear the traffic outside, taste the sourness of morning breath, feel the weight of another workday ahead. This is you. This is your life. This is where you belong. The safe house around you starts to fade. You can feel both places simultaneously, your real kitchen and the underground room. The dimensional membrane is so thin now that they're overlapping. Dr. Chen's voice reaches you from very far away. It's working. Hold your focus. Don't let go. You don't let go. You grip your reality with everything you have. In your kitchen, your phone rings. Your real phone, in your real apartment. You can see it on the counter. Caller ID shows Mum. You reach for it. The moment your fingers touch the phone, the world rips apart. Chapter 8. The Crossing. Reality becomes negotiable. You're in both places. Neither place. All places. Your consciousness stretches across the dimensional membrane like you're being pulled apart molecule by molecule. Alicia was right. It feels like dying. You see branch 7 falling away, the safe house, the shifters, Marcus's worried face, Dr. Chen's equipment. They're receding into impossible distance, becoming small, becoming nothing. You see branch 4 rushing toward you, your apartment, your life, your world. But it's not just appearing. You're being woven back into it. Every decision you made, every moment you lived, reconnecting to you in a cascade of memory and sensation. And between them you see the structure of everything. Infinite branches, infinite worlds, all stacked like pages in an infinite book. Each one a variation, a different outcome, a road not taken, or a road that was. You see versions of yourself in 1,000 different lives, some similar, some radically different, some happy, some tragic, some mundane. In one branch you died in a car accident at 19. In another, you became a doctor like you wanted as a child. In another, you never left your hometown and you're married with 3 kids. In another, you're homeless. In another, you're rich. In another, you're a completely different person with a completely different name. All of them are you. All of them are real. All of them exist simultaneously in the quantum superposition of reality. And threading through all of them, connecting them like a web, are the choices. The moments when one path split into many. The dimensional, nexus points where reality branched. You see your own nexus point from 8 years ago, glowing bright. The moment you chose to leave your hometown instead of staying. That single decision created 2 branches. Branch 4 where you left, and branch 7 where you stayed. Both versions have been running in parallel ever since. Both versions are equally real. But only one version is you. You reach for branch 4 with everything you are. Every memory, every feeling, every fibre of your being straining toward home. The phone is still in your hand, your mother's call connecting you across the dimensional divide. You answer it. Hello, your mother's voice, clear and real and unmistakable. Honey? Oh, thank God, where have you been? I've been trying to reach you for a week. The police said... Mom, your voice cracks. Mom, I'm home. I'm okay. And just like that, you're there. Fully, completely, undeniably there. You're standing in your kitchen. Your real kitchen. Morning light through your window, coffee maker gurgling, phone pressed to your ear, your mother's voice asking questions you don't know how to answer. The world is solid, real, the right colour, the right temperature, the right sound. No greenish tint to the light, no thick resistance to the air, no wrongness. You're home. I'm okay, you repeat, your voice shaking. I'm sorry I worried you. I'm okay. You're crying. When did you start crying? Your mother is crying too, relief and worry mixed together. She's asking where you've been, what happened. Are you hurt? Should she come over? Should you go to a hospital? I need a minute, you manage. I'm home. I'm safe. I'll call you back. I promise. I just need a minute to what? To process that you're real again. To confirm this isn't another false memory or dimensional bleed. To make sure you're actually here and not hallucinating the whole thing. Your mother reluctantly agrees to let you go, making you promise to call back within the hour. You promise. You hang up. And then you just stand there, in your kitchen, in your apartment, in your life. You look around. Everything is exactly as you remember. The spotted mirror in the bathroom, the water stains shaped like Italy on the ceiling, the brown couch, the worn toothbrush, the coffee maker making its weird gurgling noise. It's all real. All yours. All home. You check your phone. The date shows you've been gone for 9 days. 9 days that your consciousness experienced but your body didn't. 9 days that you'll never be able to account for. You have 47 missed calls, 89 text messages, 12 voicemails, friends, family, work, all wondering where you are. But you're here now. That's what matters. You sink down onto your kitchen floor, back against the cabinet, and let yourself shake. Let yourself cry. Let yourself feel the overwhelming relief of being home. You're home. You're real. You're you. After a while, you don't know how long, you pull out your journal. The journal from the safe house. It came back with you. Physical proof that branch 7 wasn't a delusion. You open it to the last page and write, "Made it home. Branch 4, reality confirmed. I'm real." Then you hesitate. Add one more line. They're still there. Marcus and Dr. Chen and all the others still trapped, still fighting, still real. Because that's important. Even though you're home, even though you're safe, you need to remember. They were real. That world was real. You weren't crazy. You just fell through a crack in reality and somehow found your way back. Your phone rings again. Work. You should answer. You should start building your cover story. You should begin the process of stitching your life back together. But first, you just sit on your kitchen floor in your real apartment and breathe. You're home. You're home. You're home. Chapter 9. The integration. The next few days are surreal in a completely different way. You call work and tell them you had a medical emergency. Mental health crisis. You're seeing a doctor, you're on medication, you'll be back next week. They're sympathetic but clearly uncomfortable. Mental health is still stigmatized, even in this world, but it's an explanation they can accept. Your friends are harder. Alex comes over the day after you return, and you can see the worry and hurt in their eyes. "Where were you? I filed a missing person report. The cops found your apartment empty. Your car was here, your wallet was here, but you were just gone." You stick to the story. Breakdown. Fugue state. You don't remember much. You're sorry you scared everyone. Alex hugs you hard. "Don't do that again. I thought you were dead." "I won't. I promise." Your mother visits. She brings food, too much food, like she's trying to physically anchor you to this reality with casseroles and cookies. She hovers. She asks gentle questions. She clearly doesn't believe the fugue state story but doesn't push. "I'm glad you're back," she says simply. "Whatever happened, wherever you were, I'm just glad you're back." You hug her and try not to cry. Slowly, you reintegrate. Return to work. Resume your routine. Answer the same boring questions. Reset the same passwords. Drink the same terrible coffee. It should feel normal. It should feel like you never left. But it doesn't, because you've seen behind the curtain. You know now that reality is thinner than people think, that the world you perceive is just one branch among infinite others, that every choice, every decision, every moment creates splits and divergences and new possibilities. You walk through your life like a ghost, seeing the seams. At night you dream of the safe house, of Marcus and Dr. Chen and the others. Sometimes you dream you're still there, and waking up here is, at night, you dream of the safe house, of Marcus and Dr. Chen and the others. Sometimes you dream you're still there, and waking up here is the false memory. Those mornings are the worst. You have to check your journal, verify the details of your apartment, confirm which reality is real. The dimensional bleed works both ways, apparently. 2 weeks after your return, you're sitting at your desk at Data Synth when it happens again. That feeling. The air pressure drops, your ears pop. For just a moment, reality becomes transparent. You see the membrane, thinner than it should be. like your presence, your consciousness, has scarred it somehow, created a weak point, and through that weak point you see branch 7. Still there, still real, still running parallel to this one. You see the safe house, see Marcus sitting at the table, head in his hands, see Dr. Chen working at her equipment, see the other shifters going about their routines, trapped in their endless waiting. They can't see you, but you can see them. The moment passes, you're back at your desk staring at your computer screen, hands shaking. They're still there, still trapped, and you're the only person in this entire dimension who knows they exist. That night, you make a decision. You can't go back. Dr. Chen was clear about that. Your quantum signature has realigned with branch 4. Shifting again would be nearly impossible without another major trigger event, and even then you'd risk ending up somewhere else entirely. But you can remember. You can document. You can make sure their existence meant something. You start writing. Not in your journal, in a document on your laptop. Everything that happened, every detail you can recall. The safe house, the shifters, the dimensional mechanics, the correction authority. Marcus's daughter Emma, Dr. Chen's research, Alicia's warning about the crossing, all of it. You write for hours. The story pours out of you like something that needs to exist, needs to be real in this dimension, even if the people involved never make it back. When you finish, you read it over. It sounds insane, like science fiction, like the delusion of someone who had a psychotic break, which is probably what anyone reading it would think. But you know the truth. You were there, you lived it, and somewhere in a dimension so close to this one that you can almost touch it on certain days when the membrane thins, they're still there, still fighting, still hoping, still real. You save the document, title it, A Journey into the Impossible, and then you do something you haven't done since you got back. Something you've been avoiding because it feels too much like giving up on the mundane reality you fought so hard to return to. You open a new browser window and search. Parallel Dimensions Research. Most of the results are science fiction, theoretical physics papers that treat it as mathematical abstraction. Reddit threads full of speculation and conspiracy theories. Nothing serious, nothing real. Just like Dr. Chen said, in this branch, dimensional research never developed. It's not accepted science, it's fringe. But then, buried on page 3 of the search results, you find something. Blog. Updated sporadically. Last post from 6 months ago. The header reads, Dimensional Displacement Support Group. Your heart stops. You click. The blog is simple, text only, anonymous. Posts from different people describing experiences that sound impossible, waking up in wrong versions of their lives, details that don't match their memories, false memories bleeding through, the feeling of being trapped in a world that's almost but not quite right, and in the comments, advice, resources, meeting locations. They exist here, other shifters, people who've made it back from other branches, or who partially shifted and got stuck between, people who understand. You're not alone. There's an email address at the bottom of the page, for people who need help, who need to talk to someone who understands. Your fingers hover over the keyboard. You could reach out, connect, find others who've lived this nightmare. Or you could close the browser, put it behind you, live your normal life and try to forget the impossible things you've seen. Epilogue. The thin places. You send the email. 3 days later, you're sitting in a coffee shop, not your usual one, somewhere across town, waiting. The response had been cautious but specific. A time, a place, a description. I'll be wearing a blue jacket and carrying a book about quantum mechanics. She arrives right on time, mid-40s, tired eyes, blue jacket. The book tucked under her arm has equations on the cover that make your head hurt. She sits down across from you without preamble. How long were you gone? 9 days. Branch 7. She nods, like this makes perfect sense. I was in branch 12 for 4 months. Took me 3 years to find my way back. You got lucky. Did I? You think about Marcus, about Dr. Chen, about all the people still trapped. Doesn't feel lucky. Being home doesn't feel lucky. You don't have an answer for that. She sips her coffee, orders it without asking what they have, like she's done this 100 times. Maybe she has. The dreams will fade, eventually. The pull gets weaker the longer you're back, but you'll always feel it. The thin places, the moments when the membrane gets permeable. You'll be walking down the street and suddenly you'll see through, just for a second. See the other branches, the other lives, the other yous. Does it get easier? No, but you get used to it, and you learn to help others. That's why I run the blog, why I meet people like you. We're the ones who came back. We're the ones who remember, and there aren't many of us. She slides a piece of paper across the table, a list of names and email addresses, support network, people who understand. Some of them shifted and returned. Some of them have family members who never came back. Some of them are researchers trying to understand the mechanics without going insane or getting institutionalized. You take the paper, fold it carefully, put it in your pocket next to your journal. What do? You ask. Those of us who know. We survive. We remember. And when the membrane thins enough, when new shifters start appearing, confused and terrified, we're the ones who help them understand they're not crazy, that it's real, that they can get home if they fight for it. She stands to leave, then pauses. The story you wrote, the one you sent with your email, publish it. Not as truth. They'll never believe that. Publish it as fiction, as a story. Because somewhere, in some other branch, someone's going to read it and recognize their own experience, and they'll know they're not alone. She walks out, leaving you with your cooling coffee and a head full of impossible knowledge. You pull out your laptop, open the document, read through the story one more time. Your story, Marcus's story, the story of everyone trapped between realities, and you change the title. Not a journey into the impossible, something better, something that captures what it really is. The space between spaces, a guide for the lost. You create a new email account, anonymous, untraceable. You set up a simple website, and you post the story. Not as a cry for help, not as proof of impossible things, as a message in a bottle, thrown across dimensional membranes, hoping it reaches someone who needs to know they're not insane, that the wrongness they feel is real, that home exists, even if it's impossibly far away, that someone, somewhere, remembers them. The post goes live, you close your laptop, finish your coffee. Outside the sun is setting. The light through the window is exactly the right colour. No greenish tint, no dimensional bleed, just your world, your branch, your reality. But you know now, in a way you can never unknow, that it's not the only one. And on nights when you can't sleep, when the membrane thins and you catch glimpses of other branches, you think about Marcus, about whether he ever found his way home to Emma, about whether Dr. Chen's research ever cracked the puzzle, about whether the safe house is still there, still sheltering the lost. You'll never know for certain, but you remember them, you document them, you make sure their existence echoes into this reality, even if they never make it back themselves, because that's what you can do. That's your purpose now. You're a lighthouse for the displaced, a voice in the dark for the ones who shifted. And when reality feels too solid, too certain, too singular, you open your journal and read the words you wrote on that kitchen floor the day you came home. Made it home, branch 4, reality confirmed, I'm real. And then the line below it, equally important, they're still there, Marcus and Dr. Chen and all the others, still trapped, still fighting, still real. Both things are true. You are home, they are lost, and the membrane between, thinner than most people will ever know. You live your life, reset passwords, drink terrible coffee, have dinner with your mother, text with Alex, navigate the mundane reality of branch 4, but you also watch, wait, listen, for the moments when someone appears who doesn't quite fit, who seems lost, who has that look in their eyes, the one that says they've seen behind reality's curtain and can't unsee it. When that happens, you'll be ready. You'll have a story to share, a network to offer, a truth to confirm. You'll say the words they desperately need to hear. You're not crazy, it's real, and you can get home. And in that moment, in that thin place between dimensions, you'll be exactly where you need to be. Not lost, not trapped, not displaced, but found, present, real. In the only dimension that ever truly mattered, the one where you choose, every single day, to remember who you are.